Okay, folks, good morning and welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is June the 18th, 2019, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get to the chart that I think is most interesting, and that is the chart of Bitcoin. And I have a lot to say here, and I'll do a deep dive on this chart and a bit more with regard to my initial analysis of Bitcoin later on in this video. But here's what I had to say back on May the 21st when I raised my price target on Bitcoin to 9,500. Bitcoin is moving higher this morning, back above the 8,000 level. We have an inverted head and shoulders set up here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Here's the neckline. We break out and above this resistance level, and we are going a lot higher on Bitcoin. Given where we stand in this trading range, with this line here being the upper band, should we manage to break out above this resistance level here, we could quite possibly head up to 9,500. And as you could see overnight, we rallied up to 95.75 before backing off of that resistance level. You're seeing a lot of action here this morning. Let's go over the other major averages, and we'll return to a chart of Bitcoin and one of my other favorite cryptocurrencies, which we are looking to buy in a few minutes. So let's segue over into the S&P futures. Last night on Market Wrap, we laid out a strategy. Members, it's in the members area. We laid out a strategy for how we want to trade this market, how we want to position ourselves in advance of this market prior to the Federal Reserve announcement tomorrow. We do not want to trade the knee-jerk reaction of the markets, because all that is are algos scraping the headline, and they want nothing more than for the small investor to get all excited if the markets rally and to buy the markets only to see the markets sell off, and vice versa. If the markets sell off on a knee-jerk reaction, you could expect a rebound as the algos step in and buy the market. So what's going to happen tomorrow? I don't have a clue. I think that this market, longer term, is just so, how do I phrase this? I'll put it this way rather than using the word I was going to use. So fraught with exposure to a black swan event. It truly scares me, which is one of the reasons why we have been so focused now with looking at the cryptocurrency space and building positions in that arena. And again, more to come in a few minutes. So you could see overnight, we broke out on the S&P futures. We are up about a third of a percentage point. We broke out this last 4-hour bar. These are all 4-hour charts. We have since pulled back. We are now retesting support. I think it holds. I think we rally into the rest of the day. Will it hold up after tomorrow's Federal Reserve announcement? I don't have a clue. I just want to be honest. I don't want to be one of these talking head pontificators pretending that they know it all and they don't have a god darn clue. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ futures. On a percentage basis, the NASDAQ 100 futures are up over a half percentage point, outperforming the S&P 500 this morning. And it appears as though we are pressing higher. We do have a bit of resistance above at the 76, 67 level. And you can see that we did break out overnight above this resistance level. No retest. We may get that later on this morning. But it appears as though we are going to press higher here. Now, taking a look at the dollar when I woke up at about 3 a.m. this morning was down on the session. It has since reversed and has broken out. A very powerful reversal bar here. And as I mentioned with members over the weekend on the week ahead commentary, I warned, I said, listen, let's be careful here. The dollar flashed a bullish key reversal last week, and it cannot be ignored. And even yesterday, while we were down intraday, we closed up on the day. So this is fairly bullish price action. Now, You wouldn't expect this if the Federal Reserve were going to raise rates tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen. And I don't think there's much of a percentage chance that traders are expecting one tomorrow anyway, but they are expecting a change to the narrative. And they are expecting a rate cut in July and or September. And God forbid we do not get a change to the narrative post 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. You'll see the dollar surge. You'll probably see gold get hit. But in my opinion, that will be an opportunity. And you may be saying, why is it that you believe it to be an opportunity, meaning to buy gold, if the Federal Reserve does not offer up hope to traders who are absolute junkies looking for the next fix of rate cuts, and not to mention the QE that's coming down the pike? The reason is that if they do not make an announcement that they plan on cutting rates or allude to it, they're never going to come out and say we're cutting rates next month, but they will provide guidance. And if they do not provide that guidance, what you'll see is a surge in interest rates. When we get a surge in interest rates, you're going to see this market tank. We are in an election season, and the president cannot afford to have the U.S. stock market in absolute turmoil. Moving on to gold, which was up earlier. The last time I looked was prior to the dollar reversal. Let's see what's happening now. I'll tell you, this is fairly bullish price action. We are up this morning over a half percentage point, despite the fact that the U.S. dollar is up as well. And you're seeing this more and more where gold, and even yesterday with the gold miners, where gold and the miners are rallying along with the U.S. dollar. They are shrugging off strength in the U.S. dollar. So if this holds up, this is a huge tell for the price of gold moving forward. I personally think that within the next month or so, we would have broken out on the price of gold to multi-year highs. We are long of the gold miners. We plan on adding more to the gold miners. We're looking to buy more silver using the USLV. Let's bring up silver. Silver is moving higher this morning, nearly a half percentage point. A very bullish setup here. Very, very exciting stuff to see in the face of a stronger U.S. dollar, and especially a dollar that has flashed a bullish key reversal this morning. Taking a look at the 10-year Treasury note, you can see that we are rallying yet again today. That means that we're seeing pressure on the 10-year yield to the downside. And again, if the junkies on Wall Street do not get their fix tomorrow of more promise of rate cuts, you're going to see all this unravel and everything go the opposite direction. And we are very close to a breakout on the 10-year Treasury note. And in all probability, we will see a new weekly low on yields. But again, tomorrow is game day. Okay, getting back to Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies that I like. And for these purposes, I want to use TrendSpider because they have a really great selection of cryptocurrencies to analyze relative to that of Thinkorswim. So this is a daily chart. As a matter of fact, if you use the link below, if you watch this on YouTube, or the link above, if you watch this on the website, it'll take you over to TrendSpider. Use discount code CT25Z and you get a 25% discount. And TrendSpider is also included with our silver and gold level memberships. You get it for free. And with it, you get all the cryptocurrencies at your disposal. So let's kick things off with Bitcoin on a daily basis. Our price target, as a matter of fact, let me play for you. Let's go back in history here a little bit. I'm going to insert some analysis from April of 2019 where we initially bought Bitcoin for the first time, and here's what I had to say at that point in time. Okay, good morning, folks, and welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is April the 2nd, 5:30 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's kick things off with Bitcoin, which is surging this morning at current on the day about 16%, a little bit more than that, and we were higher. We were as high as 5,100 earlier today. This is a 4-hour chart. We are extremely overbought. We are positioned long of Bitcoin. And here's what I had to say to members over the weekend on the week ahead commentary this past Sunday. Bitcoin, very close to a major league breakout. We were up, over 2% last week on this trade. I think we're going to 4,500 on Bitcoin in the short term. Okay, folks, so let's segue continues higher. Now, here's the same chart of Bitcoin, weekly basis. This is the NYSE Bitcoin Index, and it does not reflect the price action thus far today. But here's what we were looking at. We were looking at a bullish key reversal last week, meaning that we were lower. We retested the support level, only to reverse and close higher on the week. We had our stochastics, which were rising and above 50. RSI rising, not above 50 yet. I would like to have seen that, but we should see that by the end of this week once this chart updates. This is an end of day chart. Now, let's take a look at how we closed out the month. For the month of March, and here you have a beautiful breakout of this triangle formation for the month of March. And thus far this month of April, we have put in a new monthly high, and now you are seeing speculators move in and buying the shares. We bought the shares back down here at around 3,800. And we have a nice profit in this trade so far. Now on a daily chart, you can see that we broke out here on the 18th. We pulled back, did a retest of what was resistance, was then support on the 26th, and now as of yesterday, again, this is not updated yet. This was the market opens. We have new daily highs. The market was sending us a signal here when we put in a higher low and a double bottom setup on stochastics, and on Friday we broke out above the upper band of resistance on a daily chart, RSI. All right, so fast forward, since that point in time, we have gone from 3,800, where we entered our initial position, all the way up to here at around the 9,000 level. We booked profits here in the high 8,000 level, and we got back in a few days ago at around $700 less than where we exited the trade. And now we are up yet again. We hit our price target at 9,500 overnight last night. Now, the beautiful part about TrendSpider is that all you need to do is click a button and your trend lines come up. And you can see that in all probability, judging by these trend lines, that in all probability, we are going to see an 11,000 handle on Bitcoin in the coming days. Now, taking a look at a 4-hour chart, we're seeing a little bit of consolidation here. If we do get a pullback, I would be a buyer of Bitcoin at these support levels below. It's difficult to lay a number on these support levels due to the fact that they are ascending and rising each day. But I'll tell you, if we pull back to this lower band of support in green, which would be a filling of the gap, wow, that would be a really great opportunity. And you may be saying, that's never going to happen. Well, you might have said that back here when we gapped up higher, but we filled that gap here on the 30th of May after gapping up on the 26th of May. So while back to a daily chart, I believe that we, in all probability, are going to see an 11,000 handle on Bitcoin. That does not mean that we cannot pull back and fill the gap. So I'd be very cautious. Now, I mentioned earlier that I was speculating about buying another cryptocurrency, and I did a little bit of research, and I'll be the first to say, I am not a guru with regard to knowing the cryptocurrency space. I do know that there is institutional money moving into it. I do know that at current, the fastest way to move $10,000 between New York and London is to fly it in a briefcase, and that will change in the coming months. And the crypto that I like on a technical basis, as well as I like the story. And the story is that banks like it, and let's face it, the banks are going to drive cryptocurrency, and it is much faster than Bitcoin. What crypto am I speaking of? Ripple. Now, forget about the daily chart. We have a lot of resistance above. Let's pull back where we should begin our analysis, and that is with a monthly chart of Ripple. And you could see that we have broken out on a monthly basis on price. We are very close to putting in a new monthly high. The all-time high for Ripple was at $3.31. At current, it is trading at 44 cents. So I like the story here on a technical basis. I like the fact that the banks like it and that it is fast. Weekly chart. On a weekly basis, we broke out about 4 weeks ago on a weekly basis. We have since pulled back and retested support. So what we have here is a really nice base that's built. And I think that what we're going to do is we're going to break out of this congestion area right here. And once we do, we will rally up and into this upper band of resistance, which will act as a guide as we move higher. And when I say a guide, it's going to act as resistance. So on a technical basis, and I'm no expert on a fundamental basis, on a technical basis, Ripple is looking very, very good. So members, more to come on Ripple. And that is it for this morning, folks. Everybody have a profitable trading day, and I will talk to you soon. Be well.